Hey everybody, Heavy Metal Explosion coming at you with another figure review. And this time we're dealing with Smokescreen. That's right. This is the last of the quote unquote Dotson brothers. Also, in this case, we're dealing with a mold duplicate. Dare I say mold duplicate? Mold brother of Barricade. So let's get this thing cracking. All right, guys, back with the unveiling. What I got here is Barricade and Smokescreen. I said in the opening I was going to do a review on Smokescreen, but what I think I'm going to do is change it up a little bit and give you a review on all of the Carbots per se. The Dotson brother quote review. What I'm going to do is go over these guys and give them a transform so you can see, not that you haven't already seen these at least 3 other times, and then go over all 4, what I like, what I dislike, and hopefully get your opinions in the comments down below. So with that being said, let's start with Smokescreen. One of the problems I have with Smokescreen is I can't get him to sit on all 4s. Now with Barricade's great. I mean, yeah, there's no rock in there. So I don't know. I pushed this piece back. I pushed this. I pushed up and this, and I don't know. Well, we'll go over paint apps. So back here we got some red, some white. Come around here we have white, white, white here. And as you see back here and right here, the white seems to be brighter than, say, right up here. I'm not sure why that is. Usually when you paint over clear plastic, you'll get that color differential. But here it just seems like it's a little bit darker right up in here. Maybe not here so much, but obviously you can see it's much brighter. Now I don't know if that was they ran out of a certain type of paint or whatever, but here you can see where the red is different than here, and a lot of times that's, like I said, that's due to painting over clear plastic. You got some white from here, come down here, silver, Autobot logo. All this is obviously painted, and then it follows through on this side as well. You do have the same clear wheels that you have on all of them, although you can't really tell they're clear on what, let's see, so much here until you look down, and then you got the clear purple, but it's painted black here. Paint apps here, you've got the scuffing here. You got the white Cybertronium, Tronium. Anyway, you got this text here. You got a nice gunmetal, dark gray, racing stripe down the God, I hate that. Down the center, the light bar. But you see this gunmetal, that you really can't tell the unless you get it in light, then you tell that's the color difference. But yeah, you can't really tell too much on the color change on that with this being clear plastic. You got silver here, the Decepticon logo, and yeah, I mean, it's the same car that we've seen since Prowl. So yeah, it's a good figure. It's a great figure. The feet have little to be desired, but we'll get into that in robot mode. But outside of that, the car mode I think is really great, and I didn't notice this issue until Smokescreen, so it might only be my copy of Smokescreen. So I did get this figure from Hasbro Pulse, but I don't know how long they have this guy in stock. Last week when I went to look for him, he was sold out and they got some in. But I do know Daming Toys, there'll be a link in the description. He did have some up for sale, and he's not too much more expensive. He's like $24.99 for the figure, so that's not really that bad. Plus he has regular shipping rates. He is based out of Taiwan. I think it's Taiwan. But he has a $10 shipping rate, I think it is. So that's not obscene, especially from coming from way over there. I mean, it's not obnoxious. The weight, you still have to wait, but again, it's not obnoxious. I'll have a link to Daming Toys in the figure description. Tell them Heavy Metal Explosion sent them. And yeah, so what we have here are these guns. Now, we've seen these guns on Smokescreen. If you haven't, check out a couple other reviews. I'm going to show you those here in just a little bit. Now with Barricade, you do see the color. It's like a purplish gray. So this is to keep with the same color motif as the figure, having a lot of this purple in them. But these are the only two guns that come with him, and they do sit here. Like so. And that's great. Smokescreen also comes with these weapons, and they too fit here on the hood. The only thing that Smokescreen comes with that Barricade does not, which really, I think at this point, why make that sacrifice on Barricade? But you have this weapon here. This is blue molded plastic, and it's painted white. That's great. I mean, they could have left it blue for all I know, for all I cared. Does fit there for storage reasons. But because this is the same weapon that Prowl has and that Blue Streak has, or I should say Prowl has, and because he has the light bar just like Prowl, you can take it right here and put this in the light bar. Now, obviously, that's only relevant for prowl, but you get my drift. I'm just going for that. This is still basically prowl. All right. So what I'll do is get into transformation. We will pause it, transform barricade, and do a side-by-side comparison with all the figures. So what I like to do is unplug the doors like such, bring the arms down like this, roll the arms out like that. The doors can open up wide at that point. Take the arms, roll them over, bring them down, and you see what happened here. This happens on all of them. So you can either adjust them to where they hang out like that, bring them down where this port is on the side, or leave them up. So what else you want to do is you want to kind of pop the legs out like so and wiggle them out, break them apart, give the torso or the lower torso a twist, bring your feet down, and pop your heels out. Now, I normally just try to get them semi-straight now so I don't have to play with it later. Alright, so what you want to do here is you want to extend on this hinge here the upper torso and the skeletal frame. Pull this piece out, snap it, push this piece down like so, bring it on down. At this point you can go ahead and turn the head and then adjust this hinge down like that. Take this piece, slide it into that back cavity like so, and fish the head through like that. Snap it into place, and Bob's your uncle, I guess. And there you go. Now we'll set him to the side. We're going to pause this and get barricade transformed. All right, and now, so I did transform barricade with his guns attached. Let's bring this up a little bit. And so it can be done. Only drawback is when you flip these legs out, you have to watch that light bar here. It will touch it just a little bit. So with that being said, you know, just be careful around that light bar. Maybe you might want to remove it or something like that until you get them transformed, but it's not really that big of a deal. The one thing that I hadn't seen highlighted too much on a lot of other reviews when they compare these guys, but if you look, well, let's do it like this. There we go. The head sculpt is the same. Okay, this is Mirage, or this is Barricade. Now, as we know in the cartoon, Mirage had basically the same head sculpt, I think it was, as Blue Streak and Prowl. So, this being said, possibly Barricade was the first one to get this mold because it looks a little more like a sterner look, like it could be more Decepticon oriented. And then they made him, and whichever one got released first, in this case I got this one first and then he came second, but I think basically they were released basically at the same time. So I guess what they chose to do is to make the head mold similar to Prowl's and Blue Streak's, but not be exactly the same, but then give the Decepticon, and because they're not actually going to be on the same team, so they're not going to be meshed, together for you to see this all the time, it won't be that big of a deal. To me, Smokescreen should have had the other head mold, the Autobot head mold. But I understand what Hasbro's doing. They wanted to get the mileage out of that particular head sculpt, even if it's just between two robots. Now you got that. You done made your money for that because you done used it for the initial Autobot or Decepticon that it was supposed to be for, and you were able to use it for another one. So you got this. You got that mold, that head sculpt paid for. Articulation's exactly the same. The head swivels. It's on a ball joint, and you do get a little bit up, probably no down, because you're probably going to always have it down, basically. But yeah, you do get that. Your little doors are positionable. Your arms go out, and as you see, that happens. They do go around. There is a swivel here. There is a single elbow. The wrist does turn. The legs go out, forward and back. There is a thigh swivel. There is, a nice deep knee bend. And your foot moves this way, and you also have ankle tilt. Now, that being said, all thumbs right now. So we'll get him cleaned up a little bit, and we'll bring in the weapons. So I think it's a going thing that Smokescreen always had something like this. I know it was like him and Blue Streak were the ones that did this. So to give these a run for their money, they decided, I guess, to stretch it out between Barricade, him, and Blue Streak. As for this gun, they did the same thing. They stretched it out between three robots. Now, let me zoom out a little bit. Okay. Kind of get him over here a little bit. Get him over here a little bit. And we will bring in Blue Streak. Like so. Let's pull him off a little more. And with that being said, we'll put the police officers together like that. Now, isn't that just a pretty picture? Um, you know, I mean, you see it here. The head sculpts exactly the same. And these two out here, exactly the same. The weapons, these here and there. The guns, here, here, and here. So, if you look at it from this perspective, they got their money out of everything they worked with this guy. And as you see, as I start doing these comparison reviews, whether I transform them or not, so some will be shorter, some will be longer, you'll see that they're kind of getting their money's worth out of this line. You know, Optimus Prime, you know, you've got that exclusive Nemesis Prime that's in over in Japan. I'd like to see that over here. So you're gonna see you got at least that mold happening twice. Along with in the States, you got the cell shaded Soundwave. He's been done twice. Brunt, Impactor, Mirage, Six Gun. Let's see. I think the Seekers. Man, the Seekers. They've been done. Oh, wow. An ungodly amount. What is it? 1, 2, 3. Let's see. You got your 3, 4, your 7 Seeker molds. And you're going to at least get 3 of them with the new Earthrise. So you're getting Starscream. You're going to at least get 2 more. The Battle Masters. They've been done crazy amounts. The Micromasters. They have been done at least 2 times. I think with that Target multi-pack, you got them at least 3 times at this point. At least the Wave 1 and 2 sets. Megatron has been done 3 times at this point. Shockwave, he's been done twice. Reflector, they have been done twice. So you're getting at least 2 molds out of all of these that have come out. The one I think they could have done better on or is probably Mirage. They could have done Slapdash out of him. So with that being said, again, Hasbro has stepped up their game in so many ways and still bringing obscure figures, bringing out good additions to existing figures like Six Gun. Six Gun for Metroplex, Cog for Fortress Maximus, Brunt for Trypticon, the Power Dashers. We already know we're getting Runamock and Runabout, although only one is confirmed. And we got a new Astro Train. He just came out, right? In the Titan Masters thing. So, without getting off too much more off subject here and making this too erroneously long, what I was getting at is that they're getting their money worth out of these molds, and and giving us great figures. I think this was just a bonus figure. I think it was basically just to get this head mold and these guns an extra run. I think that's all. I mean, because it doesn't seem feasible just to make this one head mold for either him or him. And when it should have looked like those two. So, again, thank you, Hasbro, for picking up the slack where y'all have, slacked off in the past. And but you have given us so many great things with the introduction of these last 4 years now. I mean, you got your combiners, things that we hadn't really seen in a while. You've got headmasters. You got technically target masters, but you brought half of them out under the headmasters line or titan masters when they should have probably been put here and became, target masters in this line. So again, with that being said, if you can find Smokescreen, if you can find him, Barricade, I think right now, currently, they're both up on Hasbro Pulse, but he is also at Damon Toys. He is at Damon Toys, and I put a link in the description for that store. And go there, check them out. Tell them Heavy Metal Explosion says hi. And until next time.